Tonight, outrage is mounting over the early release by the Gujarat government of the 11 men convicted for the horrific gang rape of Bilkis Bano and the murder of her family. The Supreme Court today, in response to a petition challenging their release, has sought a response from the centre and the Gujarat government. Will this finally bring us answers to a number of crucial questions that remain unanswered over the shock release of the Bilkis rapists? These are the big unanswered questions before us. Number one, did the centre green light the release of these rape convicts? Because as per law, as per the CRPC, the centre has to be consulted before releasing convicts probed by the CBI. Now, in the case of the Bilkis, the men were investigated by the CBI. So, hence the question, did the Gujarat government consult the centre? And if so, did the centre support the release of the convicts? Because again, remember, the centre's own policy bans the early release of rape convicts. Question number two, did the release committee rely on quote unquote a silent law? The Bilkis convicts or the Bilkis rape convicts were released under a 1992 Gujarat policy. The 1992 policy has virtually no criteria on how to define early release, is silent on that. The only criteria in the 92 policy is that they should have spent at least 14 years in prison and judging the prisoner's conduct. The Gujarat government's 2014 policy is much more detailed. It bans the early release of rape convicts. So, did the committee take advantage of this quote unquote silence in the 1992 policy to release these convicts? Question number three, was there a misleading quality to the early release petition filed in the Supreme Court? Again, just to remind our viewers, the convicts were released after the Supreme Court asked the Gujarat government to consider their early release in response to a petition. A Bilkis rape convict had approached the top court for early release, but his petition failed to mention the convict's link to the Gujarat riot. There was no mention of the Bilkis gang rape or murder. So, was this in a sense a misleading petition? And finally, question number four, where is the release order of the Bilkis rape convicts? 10 days later, there is no trace of the remission order passed by the Gujarat government. The committee which pardoned these men, the head of that committee told NDTV, we do not have a copy of the order. Why hasn't the Gujarat government released the remission order in public domain, especially given all the questions around it?